tonight is to get you familiar with our triathlon and answer any questions that you may have about going into this year. My name is Mr. Theodore. I am the phys ed teacher at Montgomery Elementary School, the elementary phys ed department chair, so all the email and correspondence that you'll be getting will be coming from me. So now you can put a face to the emails that you're going to be getting as the year goes along for those of you who are registered and interested in participating in our event. All right, so we wanted to go through a presentation again about what our event is, the things that have occurred in the past with our event, and how to prepare you, your family, and your children for the triathlon for this year, and get a better understanding of the procedures that go on throughout the entire year. Why? All right, so some of you may be asking, okay, why a triathlon? How did this come up? Where did we come up with this whole triathlon thing? And it occurred 9 years ago. We kind of, as a department, were talking and trying to brainstorm different ways of getting our athletes and getting our students to participate in some sort of a physical fitness type of an activity that's not sports outside of school. Something that was more specific, something that was individualized, and then also something that was challenging for our students. And after hearing some tales about some of our other teachers who have participated in triathlons and probing them a little bit further as to their training regimen, it kind of clicked that, hey, maybe this is something that our students could be involved in and really succeed as individuals, and then also develop as get great physical fitness as a result of it. So in 2012, our triathlon was born, and it's been kind of growing ever since. We have gotten as many as 1,700 participants at 1 year. The last few years, we've kind of leveled off at around 1,400, so it's still extremely popular. We're proud of our event, and we continue to strive to make it the best that we possibly can. Okay, for registration, for those of you who have not registered yet, our primary way of registration is online. We use a website that is called Run Sign Up, and Run Sign Up has all the information for registration for us. So all you need to do is click the link and then fill out the form and register. You can also register through paper if you need to do that. I do have some paper registration forms up here, and most of your schools have those as well. So if you need those paper registrations, we can provide them here. Our registration closes 1 month prior to our event, so April 16th, registration will close. Okay, and that is to give us time to prepare for all of the items that we need to gather for race day. The t-shirts, the medals, trophies, all of the supplies, and everything. So we ask that everyone who registers, please register by that date, otherwise registration does close. Or you can also go in person at the administration building, which is on Church and Hancock, and register there as well. Okay, so the equipment that you need, the nice thing about a triathlon is most of us already have the equipment that is needed in order to participate in the event. A swimsuit, swimming goggles are preferred, although not required. A bicycle, most of us have those already, and they do need to be a bicycle. Scooters we don't permit, tricycles we don't permit, training wheels we do. Okay, so if that is necessary, then that absolutely is an adaptation that we allow to have. A helmet, all of our athletes must wear a helmet under Pennsylvania state law. Running shoes, and then some other race day equipment of whatever you need, water bottles and so forth, to participate in the event. And we'll go over some of those a little bit later once we get into the transition area. Okay, so permissions, things that are not permitted. And these are pool rules for us. Any type of swimming flotation, so bubbles, the things you wear on your arms, inner tubes, none of those are permitted. Although, in the pool, there are kickboards that are available. So our athletes can use kickboards to cross the pool if they need to, but they can't use any personal flotation devices. Again, we already talked about scooters and tricycles. Headphones are not permitted as well, so that our athletes can hear the directions from the people who are assisting us with our race. Like we said, we do permit training wheels, kickboards, and for our K through 2 division, we do allow one adult into the transition area with your athlete to help with that transition. For most of us that are well aware, a triathlon is swimming first, then biking, and then running. Okay, and there's one area that you transition to all of those things, thus known as the transition area. And we'll talk about that as well, and we have an example of that too. So here we go, the transition area. Everyone who registers will have their own transition area stall in the parking lot. As you saw from the video, it does get pretty crowded, but it is fenced out, and everyone has a 4x6 area in order to put all of your supplies to transition from one thing to the next. Throughout the years, we've kind of toyed around with some of the different things that you should have in your transition area, and after some different trainings, we've kind of discovered that the less things you have, the better. Only the necessities are what you really want to have in there. So when you come from swimming, from the pool out into your transition area, you're going to biking next. Okay, so the things that you need to have: your helmet, you need to have a shirt with your bib on it. If you notice, there's one there and it has the bib. You pick those up at pack and pickup night, which we'll get into a little bit later. But on that bib, on the back of that bib, there is a chip, and that's how you get timed for your event. The computer that we use for our timing company uses, it automatically knows the start time of all of our athletes. And once the computer hits that time, it begins timing for that athlete. And then they start swimming across the pool. When they cross the finish line, the chip that is on the back of that bib then triggers off the computer to stop timing. And then that's how we get timed for our event. So they obviously don't swim with that on, but the computer already knows what time they're starting anyway. But when they cross the finish line, then that chip triggers off the computer to stop time. Shoes, sneakers. We figured out that we were told by experts in triathlons that socks are not required. And if you choose to wear socks, you want to obviously wear the smallest socks that you can, because they're much quicker to put on than long socks. Flip-flops are really not necessary. Perhaps an extra towel if you need it. Water bottle possibly, but again, your time continues to run through the transition, so the less distractions that you have in your transition area, the better off you are continuing with your time to get the best time possible. Now we will have this example set up again at our packet pickup night, okay, but it's something for you to just start thinking about gathering your supplies and how you would set up your transition area, and then obviously your bike. The stalls are not numbered. Only every 10 stalls are numbered, and then we just count off. Your race number, bib, matches your stall number. Okay, so whatever, if you're racer number 143, then that's the stall number that you are. And there are people in the transition area during check-in to help with that process. All right, the distances for all of our racers. So in the kindergarten through second grade division, they swim 20 yards, which is the equivalent of one width across our pool here at the high school. Our pool, we go width-wise, and the length of the pool is 20 yards. So our K through second graders swim across, get out of the pool, and go right to the transition area. Our third and fourth graders swim 3 laps. So they go across, back, and then across again, out, and then they go to the transition area. And then our fifth and sixth graders do 100, which is 5 laps across the pool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then out, and then to the transition area. Biking, for our little ones, they do 1 mile, which is 1 lap around our bike course. The third and fourth and fifth and sixth graders for biking, they will do multiple laps. Now here's where it becomes a little tricky, because it's their responsibility to count their laps and how many they do. We are electronically timing their laps as they go by, but it's their responsibility to know how many laps that they do, so that when it's their turn to go back to the transition area to go running, that they've completed the correct amount of laps. Okay, in the past we used to assist with that, but this year we are not. We are not assisting with that. That is going to be left up to them for their responsibility to count their laps as they go. And then running for our younger athletes, they go from the transition area, run down to the track, 1 lap around. For our 3rd and 4th grade and 5th and 6th grade, they go along the side of the stadium over by the Votech School, and then they come back around into the stadium and through. So there are no laps for running, only biking, but those are the distances that they're going to do for all 3 of the activities. They may not look like they're a lot of distance, but when the athletes do them, they discover that it's a lot farther than they think it is. So being prepared for our event is key, and that's kind of the whole idea, is to provide a challenge for all of our athletes to get you thinking about and training for the event, which is why we hold this in February, because it's a perfect amount of time to get prepared to do these types of things. So speaking of training, so our training, like we just said, should begin now. And we do assist with these, and on our website, we do have training calendars. They aren't up yet since we switched websites. We're still trying, the district switched their website server, so we're trying to still figure out how to get them up, but they're completed and we'll get them up as soon as possible. But if you follow these training calendars, it'll help you, and they were designed by athletes, teacher athletes who have completed Ironman triathlons and so forth, so they helped us design these training calendars. But if you follow them and your kids follow them, then they should be prepared for the event as they come along. We also provide stretching guides, and then one of the other things that's unique with our practices is we do provide free swimming practices here at the high school. There are 8 dates, which we'll get into. I'll get into that a little bit later. But we do provide that as training as well. So the training is actually the meat and bones of our event. That is the whole purpose of our fitness event. The actual day of the triathlon is all of the results of what you've worked for that. But for us as phys ed teachers, that training part is the stuff that we really are trying to push and promote fitness outside of school. And then a lot of our families, I've gotten email upon email of families who have written to us explaining how thrilled they are that their child completed the triathlon, and that inspired them to go on and run 5Ks and 10Ks and so forth. So, you know, this is a positive event for all of us in our family if you choose to make it that way. But goal setting and challenging is also another really key component to making this event work well. So here's an example of a training calendar from last year and what it looks like. And if you follow these, again, they're real easy to go through, and it gradually gets you to go and prepare you for race day. So, for example, Friday, February 1st, says the activity is biking. So for biking, 16 minutes is the recommended time to go and ride their bike. And then there's a stretching guide, and it asks you to stretch through those numbers as well, which if you see them on our website, you can understand them a little bit better. But the number on the other side of the activity is the number of minutes. Okay, swimming practices. So swimming practices are held right here at the high school, over obviously in the swimming pool. Here are the dates that we have for our swimming practices. They start in 2 weeks on February 29th, and then go almost every Saturday. There are some times where there are meets and other events going on in the pool, so please remember to follow these dates. They're not every Saturday going forward, plus there's the Saturday for Easter is not there as well. Now there are 4 time slots that we have, each 1 half-hour long. You may choose which time slot works best for you. Okay, but the only requirement is you do have to sign up for these. The sign up for these will be sent out to all of those people who are registered for the event on the Wednesday prior to that weekend's swimming practice. Okay, so I will be sending those out, and then once that sign-up link is sent out, then you sign up and you're good to go. There's no cost. It's free for everyone who registers, and then you just come to the practice during that half-hour slot. Now, the only requirement, or the only caveat there, is that there is a maximum of 75 participants per time slot. And again, these are all the pool regulations. These have nothing to do with us. And then sign-ups will occur, again, prior to each session. We do also reserve 10 walk-up slots for each one of these sessions as well. So theoretically, we're permitted to have 85 at each session. But if you register, or if you sign up, then you're guaranteed a spot, as opposed to walking up, and if it's full, then you would have to wait until the next one. So for each swim practice, every one of our athletes is going to be tested in their swimming ability. And then they will be given a wristband or an ankle band, depending on where it fits best on our athletes. So that band needs to be brought to practice every week. Okay, if they forget to bring that band, then you get retested again, and you have to get another one. Okay, which the line can be pretty long, instead of just bringing your band and being able to practice. Now, the purpose of those bands is not to single out all of those athletes who can't swim versus all of those that can. We do that for the purpose of practice. At our pool, lanes 1 and 2 and 3 are the shallowest ends of the pool. So that is where our athletes who are still gaining their swimming ability, they're placed in those lanes with assistance until they're ready to swim in the deeper end all by themselves. Okay, so the only purpose of that is just for our practices. It means nothing as far as the race day or anything else. On race day, we have lifeguards in every one of our lanes for swimming. Okay, and they will assist our athletes across just in case they need to. But for swim practices, we don't have that ability, so we only have very limited numbers of volunteers to help. They are in the shallow lanes helping those that are still learning to swim. Okay, so during those swim practices, again, especially for the first time that you get there, they will be tested, and then they'll get a wristband, and then you just continue each consequent week just to come, sign up, bring your wristband, and then you're good to go swimming in your lanes. And again, you want to get there early so that you have time to change, get prepared, get ready, and so forth. Parents do not swim with our kids. They swim by themselves on their own. Our parents stay up in the stands of the bleachers and just watch. And the rest of us, we have volunteers down at the swimming area that will help with managing the lanes and assisting all of our kids if needed. Last year, this was the first year we went through this system, and it worked out really well. And it was very organized, and everything ran very smoothly. So we're excited to see this work again this year. School clubs. Some of our schools do some training outside of just regular training that you would do. So you check with your physical education teacher if they have opportunities to do different types of trainings outside of school. Some of our schools have some clubs. Others just do sporadic training as the year goes along. But most of the training, 90% of that training, should come from your families and you following the calendars. That was our philosophy and our goal moving into this event, was to put the responsibility on our kids and on our families to take ownership of themselves, to help train themselves for the event and prepare themselves for it. Okay, pickup night. This is the next date that you need to be aware of. The Wednesday before our event, which happens to be May 13th this year, at Penndale Middle School, this is a mandatory come and pick up all of your race materials night. Okay, everyone will get a bag, and in the bag will be their official IRONKnights Triathlon t-shirt for the event. There's also some flyers and their race bib and some other materials that they need for race day. Okay, so this everyone needs to come to this event. You can come anytime between 6 and 9 p.m. It takes just 5 minutes to find your school's table, sign in, pick up your materials, and then you're on your way. So anytime between that 3-hour window, you need to come and pick up all of the materials. We are also there as phys ed teachers, and our parent volunteers are there as well to answer questions, any last minute questions as to where to be and what to do. But this night, everybody needs to attend. Okay, on race day, now let's go over race day. Saturday, May 16th is our race day. Now, you want to arrive at the high school 30 minutes before each division's start time. Okay, so we have, let me back up a little bit and explain this. So we have 3 divisions of our triathlon. The K through 2 division, the 3rd and 4th grade division, and the 5th and 6th grade division. So each division runs and has their own starting time. So the kindergarten through 2nd grade division's first starting time is 8 o'clock in the morning. So all of those participants in the K through 2 division need to be here no later than 7:30, okay? Now that's as far as the division goes, and you need to be here by 7:30 so that you can check in, you can take your items to the transition area, set up your transition stall, and clear the transition area. Once 8 o'clock hits for the kindergarten through 2nd grade division, that transition area closes because now our racers have begun and they need to have access to the transition area to do their race. Now, we start our race in waves of 10. So for the kindergarten through 2nd grade division, the first wave of 10 starts at 8 o'clock. The second wave of 10 starts at 8:02. The third wave starts at 8:04. Okay, so there are 2-minute increments all the way through. And I think our last one in the kindergarten through 2nd grade division was somewhere around 9:30. It takes that long to get all of them through. Now, even though some of you may have a starting time of 9:30, you still need to be here by 7:30 so that you're not in the transition area while the race is occurring. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Because there's a difference between division starting time and your individual starting time. You got the difference? That's really key. Yeah, so you need to be here a half hour before your division's time starts so that you are here and not interfering with the race. Our 2nd and our 3rd and 4th graders start at 11 o'clock. That's their first time. And our 5th and 6th graders' first slot is 2:30. Okay, so those are our divisions. And immediately following each division is the award ceremony down at the track. And then once the complete race is done for that division, then the transition area opens, you can go get your supplies, and then you're on your way back home. Okay? The gym. So you're going to report to the gym. Now I'm going to confuse you even more. You're going to report to the gym, which is the staging area for the pool. You're going to report to the gym a half hour prior to your individual start time. Right? It's like, I'm going to quiz you now. My start time is 9:30. I need to be in the gym by 9 o'clock. But I need to check in for the race by 7:30. All right, good. We're getting it here. That's good. All right, so here's our course. This is the entire high school. So those of you that are familiar with the high school, I can't point to it right now, but we are right in the middle there where the Audion is. Okay, so the pool and the gym, they are on the far left of where we are right now. And then this entire parking lot on the left is the transition area. Okay? No, you will not be able to park there. Everything else is parking for our event, including Calvary Baptist. We are allowed to park there as well. Okay, so the biking course goes along the side of the school and around towards the back of the school and then back through again. And the loop occurs right there where the bus circle is. And that's where the loop happens for the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th graders. Our kindergarten through 2nd graders will just go through the entire thing and then right back to the transition area again. Now, once we're done for there, now we're ready to run, and we run along the side of the school, down towards the field. And again, this is for 3rd and 4th grade, so they're going to go back by the tech school and then back into the track. Our kindergarten through 2nd graders would just go right into the track and then around. These are all on our website too, so if you need to look at it, they're broken down by divisions too. So if you'd like to look at the ones for your division, they're also on our website as well, which is npenn.org/IRONKnights. Volunteering, as you saw from the video, it takes about 200 volunteers to run our event throughout the entire day from 5 a.m. all the way through to 7 p.m. If you are interested in volunteering, the registration page that we have, there's a tab up top that says volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, or if you have older siblings who are in middle and high school that would love to volunteer, you can go through there and sign them up for time slots as well. That's already up and running, so anyone who's interested in volunteering can do that as well. I guess about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we also started an IRONKnights parent support group, which is basically like our booster club for our event. Okay, so at this time I'm going to ask Sue Ahart, who is the president of our IRONKnights parent support group, to come up and talk a little bit about what their group does.
Hi everybody. So our IRONKnights support group, we are a small but mighty group is what I like to call us. And we're always looking for new members, so by all means, we would love to have more people come out. We do a number of things, number one being that we do a lot of fundraising for the triathlon. So we do that we run a snack stand on the day of the event. So if you buy a salt pretzel or a hot dog, a bottle of water, that money ends up going back to the triathlon. Okay, so we run some training sessions. We're president of Pack Your Pickup. We sell spiritware items. We will have those spiritware items. We'll sell them at the triathlon. We usually have tables outside of the gym area where you will start your day. So sometimes people have extra time and they're hanging around that area, which is why we think that's a good spot for us to be. And with the online registration, there is an option to donate, and so we do accept donations. If you choose to donate, that money ends up coming to us, and we use that money to help to support the triathlon. We've done different things. Is that another slide? Oh yeah, it is. So we do sponsor students who wouldn't be able to participate in the triathlon without the financial support. So we cover registration costs, try to provide them with other things they need, sneakers, bathing suits, used bikes. We try to help in whatever way we can. So we run some training clinics, and I'll send an email out to anybody registered about what training clinics we have scheduled. We're in the midst of setting them up right now. So if you would like to, for your child to participate in those, that information will be coming out soon. Yeah. So we also support the triathlon. We work real close with Jason and the PE teachers, and we do the what do you need, and then we try to help to provide some of the things that they needed in the transition. They changed up some of the setup in the transition area last year. We bought some supplies for that. We help to support. You'll see a lot of us, if you come to swim practice, we're there on poolside trying to help things run smoothly, to corral everybody and to make sure everybody's safe. So we help with all those things. So ways you can help, if you're interested in being part of our group, we would love to have you. We do meet here at the high school, actually, like across the hallway, down the hallway in K30. We meet there the first Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock. We try to keep our meetings short and sweet. to participate in any way, even if you're not able to make our meetings, you could contact us and we would, I would include you if you want to help with training sessions, or if you want to come and help out with swim practices, or volunteering on triathlon day. We need as much help as we can get. So that without doubt, there's a lot of ways that you can jump in, even if you are not able to attend our regular meetings. There we go.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that our event would be as successful as it is without the help of Sue and the parent group. They've just been monumental in providing us with supplies just to make our events so much better. They've provided the bags that we give. Some of you may have seen some of the years past, the really nice cinch bags. That was all from them. And they have some other surprises coming up from this year too. So they do really help make the triathlon much, much better for our kids and everyone else. And of course, the last part of our activity is to, of course, have fun. That's what we're here for. And the better you train, the better that reward feels when they cross the finish line and get their medals. So this is all a fun day, and it's a fun event, and the spirit of the day is just something that is not matched if you've not seen it before. But we hope that a lot of you will be inspired as the day comes and continue doing the triathlon for many years. There are resources. A lot of our community businesses do support our event too. The North Wales Running Company, which is right on Main Street in North Wales, they are big supporters of our event, and they provide a 10% discount to anyone who is participating in our triathlon who needs running shoes. They are great over there. They know about our event, and they would be happy to help you. So all you have to do is tell them you're doing the triathlon this year, the IRONKnights triathlon, and they'll give you 10% off. Peddler Bike Shop is another one that is a strong supporter for us, and then the North Penn YMCA also provided programs in the past for athletes to train as well. Okay, I think I've covered as much as I can in the amount of time that I've been given about our event. I know that was a lot to absorb, and as the year goes along, we will provide more information, but the key is check our website, because everything that I just said tonight is all listed on there in some way, based on the different tabs that we have for the website. So if there are questions that you have, you can always check that, or you can always shoot me an email, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. But since you're here tonight, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, I would absolutely love to answer them for you.
No.
Is the high school track open after hours?
No.
I don't think so. They've gotten more strict on that, as far as allowing just anyone to go on the track, and I know that they lock it much more, so I don't think so. I'm going to say no on that one as far as allowing anyone to go there, but I'm not super positive on that. Yes? So actually, in the past, there have been a lot of families who have done that very thing, where we brought their bike to the swim practice, allowed their child to swim, and then go ahead and go ride on the other side. The only thing you have to be careful of with doing that is depending on the events that are occurring here at the high school. I know one of the swimming dates is the Spring Festival here, and you know, parking will be like out on Valley Forge Road. So that date I would be careful of, but there have been a lot, because nobody ever goes on the side of the school where the bus circle is. So that's usually wide open and a great opportunity to go practice. And then running, again, except for the track. Absolutely. Yes, back there.
How does someone get like their inhaler or something?
Asthma inhaler.
Inhaler. How do you get your inhaler? Well, I'm not too familiar about how, when, and how the inhalers work. I would suggest that if that's something that you need, perhaps that's something you could put in your transition area with your parents' permission or your parents' help, if it's something that you need. I don't know if it helps to take it before the event or after. I'm not super certain about everybody's needs as far as using an inhaler, but we are very flexible, and we will provide whatever it is you need to make it work for you. Yes, sir. Sure. Are they different from just regular sneakers? Well, running shoes are usually a little bit lighter, and the padding on a running shoe is much softer for as you're running to cushion your feet, to reduce the stress on your knees and your hips and your back. Yes, so there actually is a difference. If you go to North Wales Running Company, they will custom fit the right shoe for your foot. Okay, and it's pretty remarkable how they do that, but they look at you as you walk and they can tell what type of shoe that you need to get you the least amount of stress on your joints. So yes, to answer your question, yes, there is a difference. Yep. They are barefoot from the pool to the transition. We have a carpet that goes out, and then the pavement, it's concrete all the way down until they get into the parking lot, and then it's all not gravel, asphalt from the pavement. There are some athletes who do choose to wear flip-flops, which you can put at the end of the pool lane and they can just hop in and go. But 98% of us just barefoot all the way down. I can speak for mine, and usually sometime around this year, I will do a promotion in my gym classes to talk about the event and promote it for our students to do. I'm pretty sure all of our phys ed teachers do something similar to that to help promote the event. But we promote it, and then this is something that happens outside of school, so we may talk about it from class to class, but we don't, because not all of our students are doing that, so, but we do spend some time talking about fitness and goal setting, which is exactly what our philosophy is for this event. But we don't prepare them directly, but we give them all the resources necessary to do that on their own. Yes? Yes, they do. The K through 2 division is the only division where our athletes are allowed help in the transition area. So yes, all those parents that you saw running with their children, that's what they were doing. They were running from the pool into the transition area, helping their kids put their shoes, their helmet on, and sending them off on their bike. And then when they return, helping them to park their bike, take their helmet off, and send them on their way. Yeah, you as parents almost run just as much as they do. So being prepared for you is just as important as them being prepared as well. You'll see that. But you won't even realize it because all your adrenaline will be going so good. Yes?
They have to do a certain stroke when they swim.
Nope. Just get across the pool. And again, like we said, if they need assistance, there are kickboards available. Yeah, some of our athletes choose to doggy paddle, which is not the fastest way to get across the pool, but it does work. But those are things that we hope in time, as they develop through doing many triathlons. And we've had lots of kids who, when they were in kindergarten and first grade, were doggy paddling or kickboarding. By the time they're in third and fourth grade, it's like swim team level going. So those are the things that we love to see them progress to do. But yes, no, we don't require any of that for our athletes. Yes, sir. It depends. What grade are you? K through 2, they will run with you. Kinda. Not really, but kinda. They run with you from the pool to the transition area. But you bike on your own, and then when you come back, you run on your own. But they'll be running right next to you, cheering you along the way. As long as you run faster than they do. Can you do that? You can run faster than him? And then you're good. You're good as gold. Yes.
Will there be lifeguards or assistants in the pool with the younger kids, like the kindergartners who can't swim?
In every one of our divisions, there are 10 lanes and 10 lifeguards in the pool assisting them across. Oh yeah, absolutely. So that when they come across the pool, there's no issues. Yes. And by the way, so on the registration page, it asks you, swimmer or non-swimmer. And again, the purpose of that is for lane assignments on the day of the race. If you choose non-swimmer, then I do my best to make sure that your swimming lane on the day of the race is towards the shallow end of the pool. Those of us that are actual swimmers, they go towards the other end of the pool where it's deeper. That's the only purpose for that answer on the registration form. Okay, so yeah, we take note of that, and when I do the lane assignments, that's how we map them out. Yes?
Is there like a specific bathing suit, such as can they wear two-piece or one-piece? Is there a requirement or does it?
There's no requirement. I would strongly suggest that you wear as a bathing suit. The best bathing suits to wear are the kind that are like an Under Armour material, because if, you know, especially for the boys, if they're wearing these, you know, the flowery beach bathing suits, when they go to run, it's not going to be the best feeling for that. So, you know, the tight spandex Under Armour type is the best to wear to provide the least amount of friction, and also it dries faster too. So I would strongly suggest that. And the other tip I'll give you, shoelaces. If you go to North Wales Running Company, what are they called, Stacy? Those
Lock laces.
lock laces, where you just pull and zip and done. You don't have to tie anything. Great investment for you for the day of the race. It'll save you a good, 30 seconds to a minute of time trying to zip tie the shoes rather than trying to tie them together. You find these little tricks as you go through the years, so it's pretty interesting. Yes, sir?
So, we can see a lot of pictures of previous triathlons. So, do we have a video clip of previous triathlon we can view and get an idea like how?
Yeah, I showed, I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the session, but I did show the video from 2016, 17, I forget. That is online. It is on our website as well. If you go to North Penn IRONKnights, or nedpenn.org/IRONKnights, that video that I showed here is right on that main page, and it shows the whole race from the pool, from the gym actually, to the pool, to the transition area, to biking. It shows it all. Yeah, I would strongly suggest looking at that. And I have other videos on there. I did one year where I just followed one athlete through the whole course, and you can see how that is too. So yes, I would strongly recommend watching those so that you know where to go on race day. Yes.
For the third and fourth graders, so parents aren't allowed anywhere, like once we take them, that's it, parents are done, we're off to the sideline, we can't help them find the transition area or anything else, is that correct?
That's correct, yes. Once they go to the pool, once they go to the gym, then they'll get lined up in order. They take them into the pool themselves, line them up in lanes, they do their laps, and they go on their own. Yes. We do have volunteers. There's about 20 volunteers in the transition area, which do help them find their stall. And also there are numbers written on their arm, which helps the transition people help to find where they need to be. But we switched. This video is a little bit older. We've improved our transition area from what this video was till now. Last year we started using colors for the lanes. So it makes it a lot easier if you tell your child, like, don't forget, you're in the blue aisle. And then that way, it makes it a lot easier for us as the volunteers who are in there to find their stall too. Because those lanes go from the beginning of the parking lot here all the way down to the end. They're very long, but they are numbered out, which makes it easier for us to help them. Now the 5th and 6th graders, on the other hand, they pick their own transition stall. So they are not assigned one at all. They just pick their own. So whenever they come and check in, they've picked their own lane and they pick their own stall. Okay, so a lot of people will decorate them, but you know, you have to be careful with that because if you have balloons all over the place, then they get tangled and people are trying to run. So we discourage balloons, but some athletes will put like poles or banners or something to help them try to find their transition area a little bit easier. But yes, we do assist them in 3rd and 4th grade. There are plenty of people in there to find, but all they need to know is what color aisle they're in. It makes it a lot easier. It's not as bad as it looks. It really isn't. Yes?
If you have more than one child in the same division, do you stagger their start times or do you make them the same?
That depends if you email me and tell me that you want them staggered or in the same. Otherwise, they'll be in the same. Yes, no, that has happened before. If you do email me and say, hey, I've got, you know, these two are registered, because when I do the registration lanes, I sort it out by your registration date. So that's how we go from the time slots. We used to do it by alphabetical order, but then, you know, the people who were Z's, they always got last, and then that wasn't really fair. So we picked it out to the registration date. So if you would prefer that, if you're the only one that's assisting and you want them an hour apart, then just email me and let me know, and I'd be happy to do that before we actually start doing those things. So before April 16th, if that's what you want. Otherwise, if you have, you know, if you and someone else are assisting in the same, then that's fine. But it'll be the same unless you tell me otherwise. But that's a good question, good point. Anything else? Yes?
What are the average, like for the different tiers, the average times of your parent watching?
Okay, average times. Now you put me on the spot here. All right, the kindergarten through 2nd grade division can go anywhere between about 13 minutes up to 25 minutes. 3rd and 4th grade usually from like 20 minutes. Is that what our best times were? Like 22 minutes, I think? 22 minutes all the way through to 45 minutes. And then our older ones, our 5th and 6th graders,
30 and change.
yeah, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on their training ability. So yeah. Yes?
If you're in K through 2 and your child has an 8 a.m. start, and you can only set up your transition area at 7:30 and they have to be at the gym at 7:30, how does that work?
Well, we actually open at 6:30. I'm glad you asked that. Now you know. No, actually 7:30 is like the cutoff.
Okay.
Like that, you don't want to be here after 7:30. But anytime before 7:30, you do. Yes, so if you're, 6:30? Yeah, we're usually here at like 4, so we open that around 6 or 6:30 for you to set that up. All right, yes? Absolutely. Yeah, we discussed training wheels, absolutely, but not tricycles, scooters, skateboards, and those things. Training wheels, bring them on. We're good. All right, we will be around if you have any further questions. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending. Good luck this year. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me or you can ask at this time.
Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by today. Y'all ready? Yeah! For bed?
Come on, bud, how are you? Good?
Thanks for stopping by today.
I hope so.
Everything's available. If you miss anything, the whole presentation's on Facebook. Yep.
Come on.
Ready to swim, bike, run?
Swim, bike, run. Swim, bike,
There
run.
you go, right?
We're already practicing.
There you go, very good.
March Madness.
Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Yes. If you want to go see Jason's spoke, you can do that. It's like I said, it's available online. If you want to register him, yes, you can register.
Discount to me.
Yeah, but he's got a few people asking questions, so it's whatever you want. You're welcome to stay, or you can do it online, or you can go to
He doesn't have time to eat.
Online, it's a little bit.
It is. Even if you're tech swabby, like it doesn't matter. It's the way it's set up is it's different. So
Yeah, because it seems like they're asking you like some registration. I mean, I don't know what is that. Something like a passport. You have to create like a.
oh yeah, you have to create an account. So that's what it is. So you
So
have
for each child has to be a account. Each child. I think it's something like that.
I guess so.
I have 3 child. You know, we have.
Yeah, let's find out here.
There and your parts are back there and flying around. One of those kids is taking down, parked at the school, taking down, some leader there. Yeah, it starts sidewalks from school to come back. And nothing to go down the hill until you get the hill, then you cut the grass for some guys. Oh, there's a way around. Yeah. All right, thanks. What school are you in? York? You have, I was gonna say,
Yeah, this is different, yeah.
Because I can track it right ahead and say you want to.
have a good night, guys.
Uh huh.